to another video. Today I'm going to be book reviewing and summarizing The Invisible Life of Addie Larue. I'm going to be giving my full and honest opinion, what I didn't like, what I did like, and if I would recommend it or not. So we'll get into that, but first, coffee. I wasn't even recording, dude. Oh my gosh. I'm very excited about this one. I know I already said that it's going to be a book review. Sorry, I'm taking my braids out. I slept in them. This book review is probably going to be one of the most honest book reviews I've done. Not that my other book reviews haven't been honest. Let me clarify. I just mean this is probably the first one that's going to have some negative sides to it. Typically, I don't read a book that I think is ever worth, like, there's never been anything super negative about it. But today, in The Invisible Life of Addie Larue, I have some negative comments. You know, there was some things that I didn't like about this book, so it's time to share it with you. So to start, The Invisible Life of Addie Larue is about the invisible life of Addie Larue. No, she's not invisible in the sense of she walks in a room and you don't see anybody. She's invisible in the sense that you meet her and you forget her right away. She's not somebody that can leave a mark on the world or an impact on a person individually because they simply will just forget that she existed. So it's really sad to live life like that, but it was a choice that she made. So I, as usual, am going to read the little description thing that the book has so you can figure out a little bit about what it's going to be about. Yeah, so let's see. A life no one will remember, a story you will never forget. France, 1714, in a moment of desperation, a young woman makes a faustin bargain to live forever and is cursed to be forgotten by everyone she meets. I don't know if I said that one word right, so I apologize. Thus begins the extraordinary life of Addie Larue, and a dazzling adventure that will play out across centuries and continents, across history and art, as a young woman learns how far she will go to leave her mark on the world. But everything changes when, after nearly 300 years, Addie stumbles across a young man in a hidden bookstore, and he remembers her name. So the whole point of the book is she made a deal, or as it says, bargains to live forever. The thing is they don't really say this, but it's kind of like the person she bargains with is technically like the devil, which in my opinion was really uncomfortable. But I just thought I would let you guys know that part. And she basically bargains to just live forever, and she doesn't think about the consequences for it. So she ends up bargaining to live forever and lives forever, but every time she meets somebody, she isn't necessarily, like, she's not remembered by them. She could run into them again and they won't remember her. And she can't say her name, which is another really sad detail. But I don't know, overall, I think this book was really, really well written, and the author did an amazing job at writing and showing detail. I want to stop here with the summary and just say that it was a well-written story. I think the details that it shares, taking you through time and expressing the different time periods and the modern time periods, and also, like, maybe halfway, a little over halfway of the book, we start to see more of the life of the boy who remembers her, which I thought was really cool because their stories kind of intertwine in a way. So that's that. That's my summary. I'm gonna not spoil anything for you, so let's get into my honest review. So my first pro on this book, though, is definitely the cover. It's so beautiful. Like, I was obsessed with the cover. I got this edition, and guys, this is beautiful. Do you see this? Like, this is just, it's stunning. I just love this book so much, and it says I remember you because he remembers her. Anyways, the book, the packaging, marketing, cover, whatever you want to call this element of it, 10 out of 10, man. This is my favorite part of the book. Okay, that's all. On to the actual prose of the book. Okay, so time to review it. First things, the prose of this book. The prose is, it is such an interesting storyline. Like, the concept was there. The concept and the idea of having a story where a girl is not remembered by anybody and just strives to leave a mark. Beautiful idea. Loved the concept. Loved a lot of the main plot line things in the story. Sorry about that. It was beautiful. That was wonderful storyline. It was creative and it's enticing. You really love Addie's character in the sense of she still has this outlook on life that's good and still wants to experience life even after living 300 years, which that's insane. But yeah, and I think the romance element in it is really sweet. You know, a boy that remembers her, of course, that's the love interest. I think that's an excellent plot line to the story, and the ending had me so shocked and so like, just, I didn't see it coming at all. It ended well. Like, it gave closure. I mean, it wasn't what I expected at all, so this book will definitely surprise you if you do read it. The ending is just, I can't say it, so I'm just like, you know, trying to express how I felt about it, but it was great. It was a great ending. I loved it. It was really good. Those are the pros. On to the cons. Okay, so on to the cons part. Overall, this book had a lot of inappropriate content that I strongly disagreed with. I think that the author, Victoria, could have done other stuff with the story. There was just a lot of, I can't say the word of what was in it. I know a lot of authors would say spicy parts. I guess we'll go with that. There was a lot of that. And I personally don't like reading books that are like that. I love, you know, more story. I want to experience more than just that in a book. I don't like any of that really in a book, you know. So I do not recommend this book for a younger audience. I would definitely say 18 and up. This is like a TVMA book for some parts. I, as a Christian, found it very icky, and I didn't like to expose myself to it, so I definitely skipped over so much of the book, which I wish I wouldn't have to reading a book. I wish I wouldn't have to skip over things, because I wish that the author would have took more time to think of more creative things for Addie Larue to do with 300 years of her life. That's a long life. Like, that's a long time to be alive. And I feel like you could do, even if you're not remembered by people, I think you could do more. Like, you could go and experience so much more in the world. And I wish that this book would capture that and would be creative enough to take you on a journey of a person who lived well, rather than just that. But I think overall that's a great story of values. Like, you could have a whole life. What are you gonna do with it? Like, are you just gonna spend it giving into your sadness or doing things that are just gonna hurt you more? Or are you gonna go and just live life and enjoy it and experience fun, good for you things rather than not? So that is that. I definitely think the inappropriate content was very unnecessary for how repetitive it was. It was just a really big theme. I recommend going on, as always, Common Sense Media has really good reviews on this. When I first looked at this book, it wasn't on Common Sense Media yet, and I never went back to look at it before I got it, which I should have, because I would have seen this and I probably wouldn't have read the book at all, honestly. But yeah, I think Victoria is a brilliant writer, and I would have loved to see more that was less icky. So yeah, that's my cons on it. So I actually would not recommend this book. Okay guys, so that is my overall review. If I'm rating it out of 5, I would give this book a 3 out of 5. I really personally, the inappropriate content brings it way down on my scale. I even considered giving it like a 2.5 out of 5, honestly. That was just so, it took away from the book so much. But yeah, overall though, like the actual really good plot parts of the book, like more towards the last half, is so good. I loved it. Like my favorite part was like the second half of the book. It was so well written, and it, like, the plot line got a little better even, and you just really get to see more, and I really enjoyed it. But other than that, I don't think I would recommend the book, and I'm sorry to say that. If now you're like, oh, I want to read it though, that's a choice you get to make, obviously. If you want to read it, read it. If you've already read it, let me know your opinion in the comments. I would love to know. But overall, I think, especially if you're younger, do not read this book. I think it's best for you not to. But yeah, that's it. That's the book review. Of course, I'll link the Common Sense Media link down below so you can check it out and check out other books as well. I love doing these book reviews for you guys, and I'm going to be doing another one. I'm currently reading 1,000 Heartbeats by Kira Cass, I think is her name, and I'm loving it so far. Nothing icky in that one. So I will be reviewing that one soon, as soon as it's done. I'm not really on a time crunch here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below any other book recommendations that you might have for me or that you want me to review, and I'll check them out. But I love you, and I hope you're doing well. I'll see you next time.